back to SportsKhabri with me, Rishi and Adi. Agenda for today: top three T20 batters of all time for India. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I think we've got a couple of names in there that have to be there, but I think there are one or two that will make this conversation very, very interesting. So yeah, we're gonna jump straight into it. Rishi, just throw a name out there, dude. Like top three, somebody who's nailed on there for you. Who do you think is there?
I mean, I think at this point we can't look past Virat Kohli and
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma, right? Like they've like their careers, international careers, have pretty much coincided with the inception of T20 cricket, and like to the good luck of them, and to the rather unfortunate luck of players like Yuvraj, who were already established and probably at their peak of their career when T20 started, like you can say that they couldn't make the best out of it. So I think these two, like their careers, like pretty much did coincide with the birth of T20 cricket and with the explosion of T20 cricket as well. Like you see in the last 5 6 years, the number of games that every national team has played, T20 games that national teams have played, have been significantly more than since say 2007 till like 2015. So and Virat and Rohit have been part of this the latter half also, not just the former half. So I feel the amount of runs they've scored, the kind of milestones they've been part of, I think it's hard to look past these two.
Yeah, I think Virat, you just can't look past him. The numbers are crazy, bro. He averages 48.69 T20s. Strikes pretty decently. 137 is not a bad strike rate for somebody who began his T20 career back in whatever 2008. Right? Like so, not bad numbers at all. I think that's a nailed down one. Virat Kohli. Adi, any other nailed down ones that you think have to be there? We'll get those out of the way.
Bro, that's a
Rohit
tough
Sharma.
one because I feel like the thing with T20 cricket, as Rishi said, like you look at our Indian grades, like, in terms of batsmen, we've had a lot of good batsmen, like, Sachin, your Lakshmans, your Sehwags. Like, I feel like then, especially Sehwag, I don't think like these guys had a fair chance to play T20 a lot. And,
Yeah.
that just makes this topic a bit different because I really believe if, for example, Sehwag in his prime era was playing in T20.
Sehwag, Yuvraj.
Exactly.
Imagine them playing.
Bro,
Like
but
what?
Yuvraj, the thing with Yuvraj is I feel
Yuvraj,
like he had a lot of chances to play in
he
T20.
He
got a
did,
good
but
run.
he was already an established player who was probably at the peak of his game by the time T20 was like there to like play. Like you could say 2007-8 it started, but 2011-12 is when games started happening a lot more. So by
But
then
Yuvraj
he was
played till like
already at his
2018, no,
peak of
Rishi.
his
Like he
career.
had a lot of chance. Like he played a lot
15
of
was
high.
his last World Cup. 2014 was his last T20 World Cup.
He played,
But
yeah, but he played
yeah,
like a lot of T20. So that's a
yeah.
problem.
But for India, that was his last spell. But again, that was post cancer. That was not the best version of
That's the issue
Yuvraj's
with Yuvraj.
years.
Like, I feel like he never. That's the problem, no. Like, first of all, I don't think there was enough T20 during like till the 2015 era where like you didn't have much T20. I feel like T20 really boomed after 2016, 2017, where we have like a lot of T20 games playing. And the one more thing is T20's evolved, bro. Like that time, 160 was a good score. At a point of time, 160, 170 was like a massive score. At times you were able to defend 120, 130, during the beginning of like IPL and just T20 itself. Now, bro, you look at it, it's crazy where like you scoring 200 and you can still lose. Like people are scared to like have a 200. That sometimes they're like, okay, that's still not enough. That's where T20s come. Like I don't think Indian players like that's why I say like unfortunately players like Sehwag didn't get a chance to play enough T20 where like I think if he got a chance, he would have easily been the best in terms of the way T20 is played right now, right? It's so explosive. You have guys like Abhishek Sharma coming and playing who he's is very similar to how Sehwag plays. Like, for example, like you see how Abhishek Sharma is thriving. Imagine Sehwag in this format. I
No,
think it would
100%.
be
Yeah,
crazy. And that's the problem. I think
100%. Bro.
it's so
Yeah,
tough because like when you put the names, it sounds underwhelming. If you're going to sit and say like apart from Virat and Rohit, the next high scorer is Suryakumar Yadav. Now I can't sit and say he's the third best batsman ever to play, T20 cricket for India. But based on the stats, based on what he's done in the World Cup, and to be fair, the way he plays T20 right now, it is one of the best. Like you can't deny it, right?
yeah.
And in this era, in this current era right now, captaining the Indian team, from where he started, Surya Kumar Yadav is not a guy who came in very young, played a lot of T20 games. He's been playing a lot of T20 games, but at a very short period of time. He's been in the Indian team for the past, let's say, 3.5 years properly. And
Yeah.
the amount of innings he's gone everywhere. He's been able to play in tours outside India, in India. I think, like, to an extent, I would push Surya Kumar Yadav because, again, it's just the fact that not enough legends, not enough players outside, this current crop of like cricketers have actually played enough T20 cricket. Like, you go back, you just don't find it.
Yeah, I agree. I think like somebody like Sehwag would have thrived. I think he would have done so well in T20 cricket if he was around. But he did have like really good spells in the IPL, anyways. We're talking about international cricket. So, yeah, apart from Virat and Rohit, again, let's just quickly touch upon Rohit because Adi's mentioned Rohit. I think Rishi's also mentioned Rohit. He's a nail down. He's the second nail down guy, I think, in this list. Again, the numbers are good. 140 strike rate. Again, you think about Rohit. He started back in um, 2007,
2007.
right? Like he started in 2007 and batted at number six basically for India back then. So it's not like he always was an opening bat, especially in the shortest format. So given that context, I think Rohit again, great stuff. For me, just purely I know the third best choice would probably be somebody like a Surya Kumar Yadav, right? Suresh Raina is probably somebody you could also throw into the conversation. But for me, the third, like my top three, and the guy who finishes third is Yuvraj Singh. Like I think purely for the impact he had. Now, of course, like Yuvraj didn't have the best of times post cancer. He was not successful as a cricketer, not leave alone like T20 cricket. He struggled in ODI cricket after 2011. So that's been there, but just purely for the impact he had, if 2007 didn't happen, and if like you started thinking of T20 cricket and like white ball cricket, it was synonymous with Yuvraj Singh for that entire period. Right, those 4 years from 2007 to 2011. And I have not seen a cricketer have that much of an impact, bro. Like that is an insane level of impact in that period that Yuvraj Singh had. And for that alone, I think I think I just for that fact I put him in the top three. Not because of his stats, because we know after 2011 what happened. It's not that we have to sit and discuss it. So purely alone for that, yeah, I probably say Yuvraj finishes as my third best. Rishi, who's your third? Or
It's not. I mean, it's so hard to choose. Like exactly like Adi said, like our quality, like our best era of batsmen probably didn't get as much T20 games to play. Like you see, Surya Kumar Yadav has come in. He debuted in 2021. He's played about 73 games.
yeah,
And you see Suresh Raina, who made his debut in 2000, T20 debut in 2006 and
hmm,
played all the way till 2018, has played the similar number of games. He's played 78 T20 games. Like that
yeah,
speaks about the explosion of T20 that's happened. So I feel
that's
it's a
true.
little bit unfair, like, for like the players who like, no, we don't even have to go back to say 2006 7, like even the players from in the 2010s, like they've gone through the slow period and then really had to pick up. So for like from that perspective, I think for me the third place would go to someone like Shikhar Dhawan. He's really come and had brilliant performances against Australia, against New Zealand, against West Indies in tough conditions. Like I think he was the one of the pioneer batsmen for me, like who'd come out with the aggressive intent. Like of course we had Sehwag doing it back then for us in the bigger formats. Like but for T20, I feel he's the one who used to set the tempo for us. Even when it came to chases, I remember him almost chasing the game against Australia and Brisbane. Like we lost that game because of DLS. Like he scored 70 odd runs, and then because of rain, we lost. And then off the top of my mind, I can think of the chase versus the runs he put up against New Zealand or against West Indies in the Nidhas Trophy. Oh, sorry, against Sri Lanka in the Nidhas Trophy. So I think he is one of those players who played like a justifiable amount of games in an era where it wasn't an explosion of T20 games, but had the right amount, like had enough performances in India and abroad equally. So I feel for
Mm.
that reason, like he should get a fair shout at the third spot.
But the only thing with Shikhar Dhawan is the numbers, I think, just don't back him. For an opening bat, he strikes at 125 in T20Is, and yeah, average is 27. So I think that's like I just feel like, bro, he never. Again, I feel like a huge part of this is if you've contributed massively to, say, a big success, and I feel like that's how I'm basing this off of. That's why I say Yuvraj Singh, because the World Cup win, now Virat and Rohit have contributed to the 2023, 2024 T20 World Cup win. So that's why I put them there. Adi, who's number three for you? Are you convinced by either?
Bro, that's
Um,
the thing. I think both of your
okay.
names, bro, they're great players. Like that's the problem. I feel like, see, my issue with Yuvraj, like, bro, he's my favorite player ever. But I just feel overall he didn't have that huge of an impact. Apart from the 2007 World Cup, he really didn't, thrive in T20s. I really believe he had an underwhelming career in the IPL also. Like,
Hmm.
like apart from a few innings for like what do you say, like Kings 11, I really don't think he was up to the mark in the IPL. Like if we want to talk about the best T20 player or batsman for India or played T20 for India, I just think even though generally we would tell Yuvraj is would be thriving in T20s because it's such a like just come smash from the first ball kind of thing. He was just too slow in the T20s. I feel like he was not a player who was able to you know play it to his best. Maybe it's because of his, personal whatever it was. But I just don't think he played the T20 game apart from the 2007 World Cup, especially that innings against, you know, England. Like I really don't think he played up to this mark. Like when it comes to Raj.
Hmm.
And one more thing with Shikhar, that's a problem. Like such a shame. Like I still think he's India's one of the best Indian batsmen openers ever in terms of technique, everything like great batsman. But the problem is right now the way T20 is played, like how demanding it is, how fast you need to score runs, etc. Thing is, he never did that consistently in T20. He was a guy who plays slowly from like you see anywhere, even for Sunrisers Hyderabad, you see for Punjab, you see for India also. He's a guy who takes his time and plays. He was never that explosive player where he could, as a T20 player, can you say he's an explosive opener to come and play? Like you look at other openers in the same
See,
format, like Rohit Sharma, like Chris Gayle, like those are T20 pure T20 players. Like you know what you're getting from them. And that's the problem with me
Hmm.
and Shikhar Dhawan. Like he was just too slow to like play the T20 game. Like that's
Adi, but do you realize that at when he was playing cricket, like when he was playing T20s, there was probably one Chris Gayle, there was
he's
probably
playing
two,
Rishi.
three
He's playing
others who were
T20.
scoring at a like off the charts level. Like at his time, he was still scoring a decent number of runs at a reasonable pace. Like you see nowadays, you see players like Fraser Mugger coming in and scoring 30 runs in 10 balls. Like that was not the like context. That's not the benchmark back in the day.
But
Like you
see,
score
like
70 or 40 odd balls, that was considered like a really good score. So I
But
feel
no, but my point with Shikhar Dhawan is played enough T20. It's not like he played in the like how Yuvraj played in the beginning of T20. He retired this year. He played the previous IPL. He's been playing IPL for a very long time. He's played a lot of T20 cricket. Like Shikhar Dhawan's played a lot of T20 cricket. It's not like he was only in that era where like it was very new to people. People were still trying to adjust. Like game plan was different, etc.
Dhawan last
Like
played his
bro,
game
for
in
example,
2022, by the way.
sorry.
He played his last T20 international game in 2021, by the way.
Yeah, and that is pretty recent, no? Like, bro, at the
It's not
same
too bad, Rishi. That's 2020 was
Hmm.
not too bad.
and bro, look at the other players. For example, like the way like I would say Chris Gale, guys like Jason Roy, Chris Lynn, the way they used to play T20 cricket was totally different. And I feel like they dominated the space at their time more. Like Brendan
Hmm.
McCullum, bro. Like he came scored 158 from the first game of IPL. Like, there are certain players who were meant to play T20 and they performed at a high level, like consistently. Like I feel
Okay.
like Sky has been able to do that in T20 more than Shikhar Dhawan did, like overall in his career, right?
So,
And
fair.
come back to Sky in this World Cup. He's also World Cup winner. He had a pretty solid World
Yeah.
Cup this year also. Like it's not like okay, maybe the main games he didn't play well, but overall he's done so much in T20. I just think I can't ignore Sky.
I'm willing to concede Surya. Like, I think it's a fair shout. But before, like, we do that, the one last name that I wanted to throw in is MS Dhoni, of course. He's a guy who's, I don't know why Adi's put his head down, but captain of the 2007 World Cup winning team. Played so many games for India. T20, of course, batted lower down the
Can you
order.
just
Doesn't have the.
give me stats when you also say played a lot of games? Just like tell the stats out, like
I
no,
mean, so he's got 98 T20Is.
Okay.
Again, I feel like this is largely because he retired from international cricket in 2020, and then like we had like a lot of we have a lot of T20 cricket now, but still 98 games. Uh, Again, not the best strike rate, I think, but again, this also has to do with the fact that he started his career in 2007 and
But
he's not played the
Dhoni plays at
more
a very
recent.
position where like you generally are players having high strike
Correct,
rates.
correct. But at that time, it was still not like how it is today. My point is, he's not got the best, I think, of batting conditions in the last few years because he's missed out on the last 4 or 5 years, whatever.
Bro, Jadeja
Um,
has a better strike rate than Dhoni, by the way. Just
Correct, Adi, but Dhoni started before him. He played 2007, 2008, 2009.
Yuvraj
Jadeja came in.
played that, but he's still bro. Like Rohit Sharma played that, Yuvraj played that.
No,
These guys all
bro,
have better
I'm
strike.
not saying Dhoni is a better batsman than Yuvraj or whatever. I'm just throwing the name out there, and he's got a decent average, 37.6. Of course, probably has got to do with the fact that he's got a lot of not outs as well.
Not out.
But yeah, just again from a keeping and batting standpoint, where does MS Dhoni stand? Is he in this conversation at all?
So honestly, however sad this makes me tell, like I feel like Dinesh Karthik would have been a better T20 player for India than Dhoni.
That's
It's simple. And
that's
you go
only
look at
the
the
last
stats, it
few
backs
years.
it.
Bro, but Dinesh Karthik was a different player, and he was there in the 2007 T20 World Cup.
Apart
He
from
was
that, he never
not
after
good
that he
enough.
never got a chance to play like cricket
That's
for.
because he didn't. He
But
reinvented himself
you look at
now,
Dinesh
like in
Karthik,
the
like
last few
the
years.
IPL he's been great. You look at him right now with RCB, he's been 3 years, he's been great.
Mm.
My point is, I think as a T20 player in the finishing role, if you're asking me right now, would you have Dhoni versus Dinesh Karthik? I would always choose Dinesh
Yeah,
Karthik.
no one's taking 41-year-old
Yeah,
MS
yeah,
Dhoni
not
after
right
two
now,
knee
but
Bro,
surgeries
Dinesh
over.
Karthik's also 39, 40, sitting and playing cricket. Don't act like Dinesh is some young lad sitting, coming, playing his first time in his life.
So are we settling on Surya then as number three? I think that's fair enough.
No, it's just that he's played within 3 years of international T20 cricket format. I mean, 3 years
Yeah,
international career. He's racked up 2,400 runs, of which
yeah.
a vast majority is going to be domestic.
No,
And
No,
bro,
T20
that is
eyes.
T20Is. He scored these
T20 eyes
runs
only.
against the top teams. It's like he's played 2 World Cups, 3 World Cups, if I'm not wrong. And he's
no,
performed
he's
pretty
played
decent in the
two
Australia World Cup.
T20 World Cups.
T20
And
eyes. He has 2,500 runs. Not bad.
and
Again, like bro,
again,
very good
Bro, it's
average.
crazy, da. He's played half the number of games, like when you think
yeah,
about it.
he's
And he has
played
4 centuries. Like bro, are
70
you
odd
saying,
games.
bro? Tell me, who do you think is the best T20 player ever to play the sport, apart from India, just generally? Like for you
I
guys.
can't. It's
No,
like
one
probably AB
batsman.
de
Like,
Villiers.
exactly, ABD Villiers. What about? I think even for Rahul, at least ABD would be like top one, top two. Now tell me,
Hmm.
who is the only player who's been ever to play similar to like ABD ever? Like apart from ABD, tell me, is there any other
Oh,
player who can
come on.
play?
You are,
No, I feel
as
like
much as I'm a Surya Kumar Yadav fan, as much as I'm a Mumbai Indians fan, you cannot compare
I can
ABD
because
and
he's the only one,
Surya.
bro.
Come
ABD
on.
himself says, but bro, I'm honestly, as an RCB fan, the only guy who can similarly copy his style, it's only Sky. It's
No,
no
I
one.
understand where Adi is coming from. Like
The
in
way he
terms
can
of like
play, the way he can
the,
See,
manipulate the
yeah,
pace,
in,
the way
pace,
he
in
all
the
those
plays,
way
things.
he
and he
utilizes the ground, okay, fine. But I feel, come
Bro, his
on, dude.
numbers
AB
don't
was
no,
lie.
no,
a
no,
lot
bro. Then
more.
levels. Like of course,
Numbers
AB was
don't
a
lie.
different timer of the ball.
I'm not
It's
saying
different. Yeah, yeah,
he's as good as my point
yeah,
is
yeah,
who
yeah.
can portray
No, true,
ABD
true, true.
Villiers.
Fair enough. Yeah, yeah.
I've
I
never
see
seen
where
any
you're coming
player in
from.
the world to do it. I think Sky is the closest to him.
See,
Yeah,
from a pure T20 point where you need to take every little edge and nook and corner of the field, I think you can say Sky does that probably better than anyone else right
Bro,
now in the
this
game.
year itself, Sky came, finished a game against RCB in 15 overs, he scored 200. I don't think anyone else has done that. Like, bro, like he can finish a game by himself. Like in T20 in this day and age, only guy who I used to see consistently do is ABD. Apart from that, I've not seen anyone else. Bro,
yeah.
honestly, if Sky had the same level of cricket, he played 5 years more. I would have said he's the best T20 player ever to play for India. Because only reason he comes third is because he's not played enough
He's not played
T20.
enough. Fair
Hmm.
And
enough.
maybe
Fair enough.
not, he's played in a era where like, everyone's
It's
maybe
been a
aging. He's still
T20
young.
overload. They're
Mm.
going and playing T20s versus
Uh,
Ireland. They're
the-
going and we're having T20s left, right, center. Like we're having series with 5 T20s and probably 1 or 2 ODIs. Like I feel,
No, but
if
the
he's
point
still,
is like even in IPL, like you look at Sky, past 3 years he's been one of the
yeah,
top
see,
players.
domestic, of course, dude. Like
That is
that's the
also
thing for me.
you have to
Like,
involve that.
like
Yeah,
this from a like from a fair, like a very personal standpoint. Like I can think of say 5 or 6 off the top of my mind. I can think of 5 or 6 really good Sky memories of for Mumbai Indians. I can't think of maybe one off the top of my mind. Maybe two for India. Like and at
bro,
the
he's
same time
had
for Dhawan,
so many
like
games
Shikhar Dhawan.
against New Zealand, against Australia in the World Cup, against what do you call Ireland. No, he's played too many games. I mean, the games he's played, he's had so many knocks where he's won the game by himself. And he has 4
He's
centuries in 3 years in T20. Tell me another batsman who's done that. You can't name
Yeah,
another.
exactly. Like see the numbers, of course. Like if it were about numbers, of course, we're probably gonna have to put him
But it's not.
like higher
What
than
else
them.
are we gonna gauge
Sorry,
him?
higher than Virat and Rohit. Yeah, I mean, see, at the end of the day,
I would put him ahead of Rohit also if it comes to me.
all the context, I feel you have to put Sky there. But yeah, this is just from a personal standpoint. I feel the games that he's scored runs also, the memorable knocks that he's had for India also, a lot against Ireland, against New Zealand in relatively inconsequential games, as much like as compared to say like players from like a slightly more like previous generations. I feel Raina has played much more crucial game like knocks in crucial situations against bigger, tougher opponents. Same goes with Shikhar Dhawan. Same. I say the same about like Surya. I feel not yet. That's my only complaint.
Bro, but he has done it. It's a fact. He's played well in the World Cup. He was one of the top scorers for India in this World Cup. He's done
Mhm.
that even previously in our previous T20 World Cup. He was again a top scorer. Like he's done it over a span of 3 years. He's already proved himself. He's literally the captain of India right now. I don't think
Yeah.
there isn't anyone who's done enough in T20 to be like.
No, there probably isn't, and
That's
which is
true.
why,
And in my
like,
honest opinion, I would actually put him over Rohit Sharma in T20 at least because he's actually done more. I honestly, dude, if you
Mhm.
be honest, even with Rohit Sharma, you tell me when was the apart from that Australia and England innings, like you can't tell much of Rohit Sharma. It's not been consistent. The amount of games he's played over the years, he's only scored double the number of runs to Surya, for example. Like you can tell that to everyone. Like not everyone has been consistent, bro. But like honestly, like if we have to put it, I would still like keep like Sky because he's the only guy who can play T20 as in the way we are playing T20 right now.
let's leave it at Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and Surya. I think that's the fair top three, and yeah, you guys can let us know if there's anybody else that you think need to be there, or if there's a particular order that you would like as well. So yeah, that's what we've got today. We've got Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, and Surya Kumar Yadav pipping the likes of Yuvraj Singh and Shikhar Dhawan to number three. So yeah, that's that. Thanks everyone for joining in. Like and share the videos. Subscribe to SportsKhabri. See you soon. Bye bye.